Good afternoon, subscribers, and welcome back. Now, a few people have been asking me for a video which shows a full mark answer, so that's a 6 marks out of 6 on the new GCSE specification. So without further ado, I've got one back from the board, one of my students from last year, and I'll just run through their answer and break it down for you and show you how they have constructed this full marks answer. So I hope this is zoomed in far enough and you're actually able to pick this out on screen. The question is, as you can see, evaluate the importance of productivity for the UK economy. And the key words here will obviously be evaluate, so now we know we've got to do a two-sided discussion. The importance of, very important for actually starting your answer and concluding your answer as well. And then productivity for the UK economy, not for workers, not for consumers, but for the UK economy. Okay, so let's look at this candidate's answer. I've underlined and annotated in various places, and I hope that you will find this useful. So productivity is an increase of the efficiency of an economy by measure of their total output divided by the total input. So this particular candidate, one of my students, I've always taught them to start off by defining the key term. Now, it's not necessarily the case that you need to do that, but I often think that that just leads to a little nice foundation from which you can build your answer. But then straight away this candidate gets right into the answer. Here's the importance of, and here we have, productivity is very important because. So now we're going to crack in and we're going to say, right, here are all the reasons why productivity is important. So productivity is very important. You see I've written why it is very important for the UK economy, as it enables the firms to become more competitive and thus they will lower prices. This will encourage and attract consumers and therefore increase consumption, which will increase the UK's GDP. So we've got a number of reasons there as to why productivity is important. Now we've also got a diagram, as you can see here, just off to the left hand side. Nice demand and supply diagram, all annotated and clearly labelled, etc. And further on, they've used this diagram to construct a clear chain of reasoning to explain again why productivity is important. So the pen's not working for this board, so let me just move this down slightly. Okay, so let's pick this up again. So they go on to say, firms will compete to produce the most goods at low prices and will also increase the quality of goods in order to attract customers. And then, as I say, they go into the chain of reasoning on the diagram. Customer supply shifts S1 to S2. Sorry, supply shifts S1 to S2. When firms become more productive, leading to a decrease in the price and an increase in the quantity demanded and supplied. So a nice explanation of the diagram. As well as this, there's an expansion of demand, which is good for the economy. Okay, nothing really adding to that, but a nice explanation of the diagram nonetheless. Okay, here we go again. Productivity is also important, stem of the question, as it enables UK firms to become more competitive on an international scale, and then as you can see, they've come to the end of the allocated space, so good exam technique, little note there to the examiner, see the extra space, and then they've written the rest of their answer in the extra space. So let's now move to the extra space. Okay, so here we are in the extra space, 23D, part 3, and then they're continuing their answer here. And you'll recall that it talked about increasing international competitiveness on the previous page with the likes of Germany. Now, Germany is quoted in the figure, in the context material for this question. So, again, that's good, and it's good practice, and you should be doing it really in all your answers to refer back to the context. It's not so important in this question because it doesn't actually specify the actual case study material. However, nonetheless, very good practice to do so. as their low prices will attract customers globally. As well as this, productivity may have been brought about through new technology and innovation, which will lead to economic growth, as it shows the economy expanding and having more resources, and allows firms to give higher wages to workers. Therefore, productivity is very important for the UK economy as it shows growth. And we've got a little analysis mark there. So we've got quite a few points there with regard to why it is important. Lowering prices, increasing international competitiveness, good points. And of course, because it's an evaluate question, now we need to go to well, here are some of the problems, the drawbacks, the downsides. And so here we have it. However, signposting to the examiner that we're now going to talk on the other hand. And I've written that in the margin, as you can see. Productivity may not be so important, so again, nice use of the stem of the question, but can have many disadvantages. And then we go into the reasons why. So if the productivity improvements are brought about solely through the investment in capital, such as machinery, then people may find themselves losing jobs as the firms no longer need the labour. So that whole notion of labour being a derived demand. So that's a good point to include. Move it on to the next page. Productivity improvements may come about by forcing your employees to work harder, faster, under more stress, so quality may deteriorate and your workers neglect the quality. So again, another good point. So there's two sort of counter arguments, if you will, and then we're going into the conclusion. So again, nice way to start this. On balance, evidence suggests productivity is very important. Now this is important, ladies and gentlemen. Don't sit on the fence. It's either productivity either is important or it's not important. Try and come down on one side or t'other for the economy, and then they have a nice conclusion, a nice concluding paragraph there. Just summing up, and final sentence, therefore productivity is very important. And they've come to that having assessed the pros and cons in the paragraphs above. So that, ladies and gentlemen, got a 6 out of 6. Now obviously there's a lot more written there than there is room for on the initial page of the mark booklet, the answer booklet. However, some of that could be taken out and stripped back because it's not being credited for any marks. And so you could probably maybe get away with sort of, I would say maybe twice the length that is initially allocated on the first page. I'll show you what I mean. So there's your initial allocation there. So it's the lines in the answer booklet are here. So you're probably looking at that and that again to get the full 6 marks on that. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that's been of use. I hope you can actually see this and zoom in on it and actually read it. And if you have any further questions, do get back to me. Bye for now.